1222 at 760 WJR. Boy, there's so much going on. That is the understatement of the afternoon. We call upon distinguished professor, political science department, director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, Professor David Dulio. Professor, always a pleasure, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Pleasure's mine, Paul W.
Your reaction to what the president said minutes ago, if you didn't hear it, I'll tell you. That he is saying that whether he believes it or says it or whatever, he said other people in this room, because he was having a press conference, have told me I am probably the most successful president, or have had the most successful 8 months of any president in history. Your thoughts?
That is a very Trumpian response. I think we are, at this point, used to the hyperbole and exaggeration of President Trump. It's what we've come to expect. I mean, has he had his strong moments and successes in 2025? He certainly has. But, I think if we look at, and this is not meant as a criticism of the record. It's just, let's lay out some facts here, right?
Yeah.
The legislative, the number of legislative successes is low. The number of times he is lost in court over some executive actions is pretty high. So I think, we just have to temper things a little bit and acknowledge that, yes, he has been successful. He has made major change in the United States and the way we approach certain issues, whether it's immigration or the economy or foreign affairs. But, is he the most successful ever? I think we need to pump the brakes on that.
Well, I will say this. I think he has done in many areas very, very well. His success is irrefutable, and I am a little shocked and surprised at the way certain mayors and governors are reacting and responding to his offer of help when they see how, in fact, the mayor of Washington, D.C. was so against him doing what he did and then came back out and said, man, this really worked. Thank you very much. It is interesting to see the kind of pushback he gets. The bottom line for me is, I can't imagine anyone else being president right now of all the people we were exposed to leading up to his election. There's no question.
Well, that's interesting because, the American public is often criticized by whether we call them experts or analysts or elites. They're often criticized for not being informed. Yet, the public writ large does a pretty good job of making decisions as a collective, right? And I think, and there will be some Democrats who say, and I've even seen this on Twitter in the last 24 hours or so, that, there are Trump voters who wish Kamala Harris was president now. That's an interesting take. I'd like to meet some of those Trump voters and talk to them, but just to find out their thought process. I think you made a really good point there about his success in certain areas, and the polling that's out there demonstrates that. I mean, he has had a huge impact, and the public generally supports his immigration crackdown. Trying to deport and send home or send back folks who have been here illegally and who have committed crimes. He gets more, let's say, measured responses on tariffs and the economy, and I think a lot of that is because there remains a great deal of uncertainty about where we end up with those kinds of issues.
The latest big deal, or at least it's being made a big deal, is the blowing up of that boat. Everybody who's reporting it is saying allegedly loaded with drugs. I don't remember the news media being so very careful in their reporting in the past, but every story is allegedly carrying drugs. And I got to tell you, somebody asked him, couldn't you have done that without blowing them up? The American people, I think, as a whole, if those are real drug dealers that were trying to bring in death to the United States, they're pretty happy those guys are dead.
Without a doubt. I think that the American public is a lot of times careful, but when it comes to this kind of thing, I think they're all about action, just like the president seems to be.
I am very concerned about... I've always thought it'd be bad for the United States if China and Russia got together against us. But right now I'm looking at China, Russia, North Korea, and India potentially against us. It scares the heck out of me. I'm not kidding. I really am, Professor, scared about that. And
it probably should. I mean, those are wealthy nations when it comes to military. They've got a lot of people, and, the tensions are rising around the globe.
Yeah. Thanks for your help. Was there anything else you wanted to mention on? I mean, there were so many things that we were going to talk about. Oh, my gosh.
Paul W., we don't have enough time for all that's going on, right? I mean, that's the world we live in.
That is the truth, my friend. So we'll have you back again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Distinguished Professor, Political Science Department, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, Professor David Dulio, as we continue in Focus at 12:29 on WJR.